what is sex, what is love, what is this real thing everyone is searching for. And I thought his words in this poem were really, really beautiful, and I could connect to them so much.
Yes, the Symmetry poem came about in kind of an unusual way. I was shooting another project, and the actress from the project happened to be my next door neighbor at the time. That's how we met. And her husband was the editor of the other project. And so we shot all this lovely, lovely footage and didn't really know anything to do with it. So Nina came to me with this idea of something for her showreel, that if I had a poem that she could use for the showreel. So I had a poem about love which would fit the kind of footage that we had. So it was basically, it's just about two people meeting in like a strange location and falling in love, which was perfect. But all I did was basically I took the poem and I just changed it from my perspective and how I felt about it to a female perspective.
I changed a few things from his to her, and just so that it would fit my perspective. And then we put it together with the pictures and the heartbeat, and it just came together so nicely, and it told the story, yeah, like it would have been written, or like we would have shot those pictures for the poem.
And you know, it seemed to be going just absolutely fantastically. You know, it got 10,000 views very, very quickly, and then started to grow and build from there. Which was really exciting, you know, for both of us, I think. And we were both very excited about it because it looked lovely. You know, the sound design was beautiful, and the whole poem just worked very, very effectively to portray this vision of what love feels like from, you know, like, kind of like inside your own head. You know, and when all these things are happening, how you actually feel rather than, you know, someone telling you how you feel. I was trying to really get that emotion across. And then one day, it was fantastic. I got this message from a female-friendly porn site that said they wanted to use the poem on their website because they thought it was the best depiction of love from a female perspective that she had ever seen. Now, as a writer and a male writer, I found that was such a huge compliment. I thought it was a beautiful thing that she really had got that from the poem, and so I went on the porn site, and it wasn't really a porn. It was like a very soft porn site. It wasn't like hardcore porn. It was kind of like a porn site for women, and it had a very big gay and lesbian section, and it was really everything to do with female sex and all that kind of thing. And so for me to go on there, and she wrote this really beautiful piece about how the poem was talking about, it wasn't a cliche, and it was a really true depiction of how love felt. And I felt it was such a fantastic compliment. And yeah, so that was really good. And I told Nina, and she was very excited about it.
I'm on a porn site for women, woohoo! And Rob mentioned something something happened after that, and I don't actually know what.
I started getting these messages from people, from women, an editor from a Berlin literature journal, and she invited me to go and do this feminist show, women writers in Berlin. And when she did that, I very quickly realized that she thought I was a woman. You know, when we were talking to each other, it was so casual that she obviously thought that I was Nina, or Nina had written the poem. And it was a really strange thing when I realized that she thought that I was a woman. I said, no, you know, it's me, Rob. I thought you knew, you know, because as I said, I'd met her before a few times. She published me in her journal, and I thought that she knew that it was me. And when she found out that it was me, the whole mood changed. I mean, I really wrote the poem when it all blew off and became really, really big. I genuinely was very, very excited with the knowledge that maybe the way that women and men look at love is actually fairly close together. We're not so apart as, you know, we think we are. There's that famous book, you know, Women Are From Mars and Men Are From Venus, or, you know, some connotation of that. I never thought that. I thought that, you know, we're all kind of the same and we all think of love in very, very similar terms. And I thought this poem not proved that in a negative way, but it kind of showed that that was the case. You know, I thought it was a beautiful thing that would bring, you know, women and men and, you know, the thought processes behind the way that different people think of love and sex and relationships. I thought that would bring it closer together and show that we're, you know, more unified than we think we are. And I went to do another show, a big show downtown in like a theatre. And I was stood by the bar, and there were two people stood behind the bar, the waitresses, and they were really slagging me off. I mean, they were really, Robert Grant's reading tonight, and he's a real asshole. I hear he's a bigot, and he's a misogynistic prick, and all this kind of stuff. And I turned to the bartender, and I said, oh, can I have a beer? And she came over and said, hey, how's it going? What would you like? And served me a beer, perfectly nicely. And then instantly after she served me, she went back and started slagging me off again. And I thought that was really strange because she'd obviously never met me. She never actually had a one-on-one conversation with me. She'd only heard, you know, things from other people within the scene. It really, really upset me. She was pretty shocked when I went on stage and she found out that it was me. Her face was a picture. She was standing at the back of the room and I walked up, you know, I was introduced and came on stage. And then she knew that it was actually me, and she'd been slagging me off when she never actually met me. And it all came from that poem. It was a funny thing. But I really, really thought that it would bring, you know, perspective on love slightly closer together, and it did the exact opposite. And I find that really strange.
The meaning, no real understanding, simply a word. Vowels and consonants, constructed around a vacuous sentiment of wishes. Dreams weaved so neatly as never to set free real sentiment.
The whole point of poetry is to describe emotions and feelings that are usually very difficult to understand, and love is one of them. I mean, who really understands love? I don't think anyone really does. And if they certainly do, it's only from their viewpoint on the world. I wrote it when I first met my wife when I was in Mexico. And it was, you know, we were out, the first night we were together, we were out in a nightclub in Mexico on a rooftop, and there'd been like a tornado 2 or 3 days before, and it was just chaos, and there was this beautiful moment of silence. And I've never heard, it sounds strange to say, I never heard silence like that before, but everything fell still, you know, and this tryst engorged, I'm just reciting the poem, this tryst engorged with possibilities made fat by a stolen moment was exactly there on that nightclub roof in Mexico.